Maybe it would be easier if I could I could like.
Hello, everyone. Is it working? I'm gonna unmute myself.
And then
You hear me,
I
Sax?
can just
That's
say
it.
hi.
Live.
Okay.
If
All
anyone is
right.
actually
Hello.
there.
Okay. Is everyone here? Okay. So this is our first dev stream, and here we have on oh we have on Discord myself, Sax Panther, and I'm the project manager. We have Zeno,
And
who
my
is a
lovely
3D
face.
modeler. We have Wim, he's a designer.
Hi.
Jazz, who is an artist. Reno, who's also an artist. And we have Salted, who is a musician, composer. And we'll be starting off by we're going to talk about some concept art, and then Zeno is going to walk you guys a little bit through our modeling pipeline on how we create characters. And then afterwards, we're just going to he'll be just doing some animation work on the stream, and we'll have a Q&A session and just talk about general stuff. So then um if you want to pull up some of the concept art, and they could talk about it.
Yeah.
Now, I guess. Okay. Yeah. So if you could pull up some of the concept art and oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, wait a second.
Do you want to talk about this a little bit? What we're looking at here.
Oh yeah, so those were all the initial concepts that I started with just to get some ideas for the jungle monsters. Just trying to come up with interesting shapes and I don't know, something cool. And then usually um, it's more like an evolution process. That's just the initial concept, and usually what happens, at least just for the um, just for the jungle camp monsters, or if it goes through like an initial pass stage and not really a finalized stage, um, we kind of let the modelers have some fun, like in the creative process of how it evolves. So you can see the difference of what it turned to with the final model.
So there's no
Yeah.
actual like extra views or anything on here. It's all like there's only this one view of Rhyhorn.
Yeah, yeah. And then I just trust like the modelers will just do their thing and also bring something into the mix.
Yeah, like you
See
can
how
see
they.
there was some changes made, like the final model is like a little bit less spiky. It doesn't really have like the sort of sharp horn as much as it has now. It has more of a sort of sort of blunt um horn kind of thing, but the feet are a little less spiky, but it's a process.
Hey, that's dope
Yep.
though. That that running motion.
That was literally something I put together last night just to intro us. I'll be doing something more interesting later if we can, polishing it.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So, do you want to show any of Jasmine's concept art?
Yeah. Well, will I show up? Put that up on screen. I'll put that up on screen at the end, Gursy, as our last announcement. Um, let's see. Where is all the stuff uploaded to? Jazz.
It's an environment concepts in the Aetherforged folder.
All right, it's not in the art folder. God, yeah.
You just use search.
Sorry.
I just go to Google Drive and then just type in thing, and then it just pops right
That
up.
would be smart. Okay, I'm not a smart man. I don't know. Is my mic and everything working on stream? I don't see anyone talking, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, man, it works.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, there
Sweet.
we go. Okay. Oh yeah, that's some of that. Yeah, I was like jungle camps. So, Jasmine, do you want to talk about this a little bit?
Um, which one exactly? Like,
So
I
Beetle,
can't see the.
Oh,
uh,
you can't.
the one that we did
Yeah.
for that you did for your interview.
Oh, all right. Well, first of all, it was kind of just a snake, with helper beetles. But then, um, as Reno recommended, I sort of, I don't know, morph them together. So now the beetles kind of form the snake, and I think that this idea is actually like better than the first. It isn't that basic. And
Yeah.
well,
Oh yeah, and you kind of went back and forth with Reno on this one too, right?
Let's see. Yeah, this is an earlier one. I love that one.
Yeah, we both went through passes on it. It was mostly just a test to see how she would do her like how she thinks concept wise as her art test. So I thought it was
Yeah,
pretty
but I
cool
mean,
to see
it's
how
I
she
mean, it's still
thinks.
something we could maybe use though. But I mean, obviously, a lot of this stuff is just concept too. So, um,
well, currently I'm not doing that much jungle camps, but more
oh yeah. Do you have
urban
any of the minion stuff?
environments.
Yep.
Yeah, they're uploaded.
Yep.
Okay.
They're on screen.
Oh, there's a delay though, but
Yeah.
it
Just
hasn't
talk about them.
Yeah. Wait, which ones?
said
All of
minions.
them. Yeah, the minions.
Okay, so basically, I've first of all started, um, sketching some ideas about both types of minions. I mean, ranged, um, and melee, and like mortal and soul minions. But then I sort of concentrated just on the melee mortal minion, and I sort of, I don't know, made one um almost finished concept for it. I think if you could like show that one.
Oh yeah,
And
I think I know which one she's talking about.
yeah, it looks kind of rusty.
Yeah. It doesn't support that file format apparently, so we're not gonna
Uh,
see that one for some reason.
Well, we'll just see it
no.
later. Maybe we could post it on the subreddit or something.
Oh, I got it. There we go. Yeah. So the you what mates and the
Mhm.
very sharps.
Yeah, that one. And And then I started working on the ranged minions. Um, Especially like the mortal ones. I still haven't got to work on the soul ones. And well, Reno helped me a lot with those ones, and I got lots of like feedback from the art team, and that's sort of
Yeah,
um,
yeah, definitely.
that
It's
was
like
my
definitely a very
process.
iterative process. Like not just with art, but like pretty much anything we do. Like you know, uh, it gets posted initially to Slack, and then they get feedback on it and go from there. I mean, like a lot of and a lot of stuff ends up getting thrown out, but like that's kind of the nature of the beast. But you kind of find that anywhere. Did you have anything else to add about this?
About the plants
Just
or
any
the
of this.
minions.
Was there anything else that you want to talk about this?
Well, I don't know, maybe for like right now I'm doing environments, like thumbnails, and before that I did some prompt designs, that being the plants, which
Yeah.
I try to make like um alien looking and not that like common, which is why they look very weird
Oh, they look cool.
and not that friendly.
Zeno, do you have any of those? Oh yeah, it just popped up for a
Yep.
second. Those environment thumbnails.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
and
Okay,
I
there are
this
use
like
week's a
my.
little
some
bit
more.
behind for me, so
All right.
yeah. Anyway, uh, do you want to talk about the 3D character pipeline a bit now?
Yeah, suppose so. We have shit tons of pictures. I'm gonna show not this. I'm gonna pause that. So we usually start from stuff from art. You've all seen Nibra's concept art, which I'm gonna try and grab quickly. Oh, for someone I can't remember who it was. Someone asked on the subreddit what changed when we edited the Nibra art. Uh, Basically her shoulder pad. It got a bit beefier,
Pauldron thing.
and yeah, there was a few minor tweaks I think as well, if I remember correctly. Apart from that, it was mostly her shoulder pad because I couldn't get it to work out quite well in 3D. Let's see. So we start with something like that, and we end up getting into. This is one of the initial bases. Actually, I've got a picture. That's probably better. So this was Nibra very early on in the process, um, where we pretty much obviously we had the concept art in the background and we are just working through adding the pieces to Nibra. And the way we tend to have done it so far is to give each piece an uh, individual object in Blender, and then from that we can take it into ZBrush. But I think initially I can show the other one.
So, what are all the different programs you use, by the way?
Pretty much it's Blender for a start for just the 3D models, rigging, animation. That's all done in Blender. We've got 3D Coat and Substance Painter for texturing, and we use ZBrush pretty much exclusively for sculpting. And I think Verson uses Blender Sculpt as well, and obviously Unity, which is our the game engine that we're using in the end. Right. So Nibra's here. This is pretty much the version that went into ZBrush when I started sculpting it. Um, the hair didn't go in with it. That stayed completely in Blender. The rest of it's all like individual pieces that have been blocked out so that it's easier to sculpt and easier to subdivide when it goes into uh into ZBrush from Blender. Because the more subdivisions I can get on a mesh, the better it'll look in sculpt form. And I'm gonna try and find a thing. I've also put some of Nibra's early art on.
Yeah, man, that's pretty dope. Went through a lot of changes and revisions and stuff.
That's some. There's some faces up on screen. The ones that look like they've got paint thrown at them.
Oh yeah, the early stages.
Yeah. Let's see. Pretty much all of these are posted. For those that don't know, we've got a Slack that we use pretty much daily, and generally everything's posted up maybe a day's notice, and people comment on it. It comes back to the artists, and they go ahead and iterate on that until pretty much everyone's happy with it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, Reno, you did pretty much pretty much all of the concept art for Nebra, right?
Yeah, yeah. When I don't know if like the process that we usually do when we create forgers is it all starts with the lore. So we would talk with the lore department and then also the design after and try to implement, how we could kind of balance out how they would translate visually. So yeah, it's a really back and forth process when doing this kind of stuff. Like I'm pretty sure she went she went through like I don't know around 20 revisions usually. So
What are you pulling up now, Zeno?
I'm trying to pull up the Nebra, like the original Nebra, before I sculpted it. When I started, I think this is it. Yeah. So this is what it came into ZBrush looking like. Uh, in the end, it ends up being we just go through it, subdivide it a lot, and go into it with brushes and sort of sculpt it out as you would with clay. I'm not even gonna save that. We have a lot of concept art for that, but pretty much after it's sculpted, it then goes back into Blender and it's retopologized, which is what's happened to Rhino.
Well,
His if I go
yeah,
to
we
sculpt-
kind of refer to that big beetly guy as Rhyhorn internally.
yeah.
Not exactly sure what his name will be. I guess we'll leave that for lore to figure out.
yeah,
But
Ted's the one. Ted's the one that came up with that.
is that really what they came up with?
Yep.
No, just Ted. I don't know what.
That's what Ted
official
was
name is.
calling it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much we come in, and when Ted was sculpting this, all these dimples and that, he didn't texture that. He basically went to ZBrush and he textured it in ZBrush, like messing up the skin textures and getting scratches and everything into the bone or the carapace, I think, pretty much. So, and then after he's done that, he'll take it into texturing stage, which I know nothing about, so I'm just going to briefly go over. Pretty much takes it into, I think we used Substance Painter for this, to get a more realistic look. Um, when it goes into Substance Painter, you can paint into all your layers with your UVs and everything else already on your model from your sculpt. So pretty much what happened was he came into here, would have retopologized it, took it into Substance Painter, the and painted it over the top of the sculpt on this retopologized model to give it a bit of color. So we've got that down. It's 4,500 tries, which is nice for a jungle creep that's really only going to be, there's only ever going to be 2 of them on the map at a time. But this is going to be one of the power buffs. Power buff or armor buff? I don't think we've decided yet, have we?
I think probably armor buff. I think is what this one's gonna be.
Yeah.
But we haven't really like finalized everything that's gonna be in the jungle yet. But it's gonna be fairly similar to Dawngate.
Yeah. Well, I think we've released a picture of the map at some point as well. But it'll be.
Oh yeah, I just meant in terms of like what kind of monsters and stuff will be in.
Yeah, it'll be.
I mean, we're not literally gonna have money pigs, but I think there are plans to have something analogous to money pigs.
Yeah. So, and then after that stage, or during that stage is Rhyhorn, because it was getting tweaked at that point. I did have a nice picture of Rhyhorn, but I can't find it. So during that stage, I was actually starting to rig it up, which is what you see all these sort of grey trapezoid sort of shaped things are. I can come in, and these allow me to like move parts of the body, and when I'm doing that, I can go into the actual mesh and change what parts of the body get affected by what bones. So like these bones here, all they do is twist the leg, etc. Whereas these some bones at the back here move everything apart from the feet. Jaw, and then where he's looking. We've got a really, hopefully, simple idea that's going to be implemented where we have, hopefully simply, basically, we're going to have, when this guy is in the jungle, as you get closer to him, he'll start to turn and look at you, and that's the reason that there's this bone here that's got the IK attached. So as you're walking around him, he'll look at you and go, "What the fuck are you doing in my jungle?" And then if you aggro him, he'll swap to an aggroed state, keep looking at you, and then eventually he'll get sick of your shit and charge you, or whatever he's gonna do. Whatever looks nice, pretty much. That's pretty much as far as Rhyhorn that I've got just now. The last stages after sort of rigging and animation, which animation I'll show later on when we announce some things and everything, is import into Unity, which takes a bit of time, but eventually we'll get it down to TIS. Apart from that, that's pretty much our pipeline. Just now, we've got Rhyhorn being made, we have Syl being made, we have Nebra pretty much in the process of just finalizing textures. So hopefully there's a lot of neat things coming out of modeling in the next like while.
Lucan, right? Or however you pronounce it.
Yeah, Lucan as well is, well, the art's getting done for Lucan just now.
Right, but maybe you could show some of the older stuff, and then.
Yeah, so this happened before we ended up deciding on a final design, sort of not design, but a final look for our game. Sort of Nebra is the first character that we've done, and the rest of the characters are going to be based off our style, if that's correct, Yorzy, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Let's see, Nyack. So Nyack pretty much got stopped at the stage of having the model ready. He's pretty much
Also got renamed to Lucan.
Yeah, he's been renamed to Lucan, so.
Well, he's renamed so many times though, because wasn't he something else too?
Yeah, he was. I can't remember.
Wasn't he like Raxius or something like that at some point?
Yeah, I don't know. Versonal probably remember because he was quite invested in that discussion.
Yeah.
So pretty much all these bits haven't been sculpted on, so you like all the meshes are pretty basic blocks, and just a lot of mirrors as well, because I didn't need to do anything. So this entire model is pretty much just going to be put down to practice for me anyway. But this was done like August last year, I think. August, September, maybe. Is stream actually frozen?
No, it's working.
Cool.
Okay.
I should really just be playing my other screen, but I kept getting disconnected from it. So yeah, that's pretty much a look at Nyack. He will look something similar to this. He's probably not going to be as podgy in the end. He'll be more sort of the same stature as Nebra, as far as I know. Right. So I can show some pretty damn cool stuff now. I don't have a copy of the project that actually works, so I'm going to preface this by saying none of what you will see in the next like 5 minutes is anything that's probably going to be in the final game. In fact, most of this is before we started overhauling the entire code base, so it's just something neat. So that was the start of our map before I was able to flip it. There's actually a version of this with it flipped, but I can't find it just now. If I play this, hopefully it works and doesn't crash. There we go. So the map's a bit wonky just now because I don't think the nav mesh where you're clicking is being regened and the scales are all wrong just now. But we actually had a character working in game with attacks and everything. If I can find some stuff to attack.
Oh yeah, good old Lenny.
Good old Lenny. Boxman or Lenny. Sure there'll be enemies somewhere here. Yep. Oh fuck. There we go. So Lenny be attacking some stuff. I better not die actually. 'Cause you don't respawn at all. So pretty much this was like I think I can just go into free mode somehow. Yeah. And these little guys actually have animations as well. This was what I was working on a lot of the time last year. Getting some animation.
They're probably going to be redone as well, though.
Yeah, these probably won't be in the final version. Or probably even the alpha. I think Lenny might eventually stay because there was a lot of like animations that I can show just now. I have Lenny open, sure. Yeah. So this is an example of like a final animation. This was like the third or fourth animation I did.
I just want to reiterate, by the way, that none of this stuff is going to be in the final game.
Yeah, it's just cool to show. Some of it is obviously Rhyhorn and Nebra.
No, I mean none of the stuff that you're showing right now.
Yeah. So this is like what you can do with some of these. Sort of your IK rigs. He's also called Lenny because obviously he has a Lenny face and a fedora. As much of a fedora as you could give a flat surface.
He's basically like, well, you can maybe explain like why we even made Lenny in the first place.
Yeah, so pretty much he's got initially I made him as practice and then I just grabbed him at some point and rigged him up as practice again and did some animations. But we ended up needing something to be put into the game to test animation states, so he was pretty much all his animations were done for so he's got all his animations for, if I click correctly, he's got like deaths, his E animation, idle. He's got, I think if I recall correctly, one of these is actually a dash. A recall animation. I think that was just a thing. We've got a bit of a running animation as well. So there's a lot of stuff that has been done to Lenny, and pretty much it was all done because we need something to test environments, like in our test environment. So when we do when we have a final sort of alpha build, all the new characters that we're testing anyway will probably look like Lenny until we've got a proper model and animations done for them. Just for resource wise, because we might end up going, this kit is rubbish, this character is rubbish, we don't like it anymore, and that idea being recycled into something else. But if we've already got a model done, we're kind of tied to using it until further notice. So that's why Lenny was made, so he's quick and dirty, sort of fill-in champ.
Forger.
Oh, he's a champion.
Oh yeah, yeah, he is a champion.
Because he's Lenny. Actually, I'll show off. I'll put on some of the other animations because there was a fair amount of them done. Some of these might look wonky actually, like this one. He sort of falls through the floor at the end, but you don't notice that when you die.
Yeah, we should have all Lenny all mid for April Fool's Day.
Oh, Lenny man.
We're actually only having 2 lands, by the way, so we won't have a mid.
Oh man, that's sweet. I actually never saw the Lenny death animation. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a couple of ones that are like a couple of animations here that never actually got into the game. I think Running did, but what we're gonna try and do is tie. There's going to be a walking animation and a running animation for each character, and probably an in-between state where we can sort of merge each animation into the next. So, depending on what speed you're actually moving in game, is what your animation will be. Obviously, you don't just like supersonic when you dash. You actually have a dash animation, but when you're going from like 10 haste or whatever we end up calling haste, that will be relative to your movement speed. So as your movement speed increases, your animation should get slightly faster. Because nothing irks me more than seeing like League of Legends for the longest time had people just sliding about on the floor when they looked like they were running, which looked really janky. Let's see. Some janky running. There we go, dash. So Lenny's pretty much going to be our test forger, unless we come up with something better. But I'm pretty.
well, I mean, I don't know. I think Niebuhr might end up being our test forger.
Yeah, she's going to end up being our first one. But for characters after Nibra, Lenny's probably going to be the one to fill in the meantime in
Yeah.
the test environment.
Yeah, our main programmer right now, Marco. If you, I mentioned, I think this has been mentioned a couple times on the subreddit, but for anyone who doesn't know, the code, the whole code for the game is being to allow scripting, better event handling and stuff like that. So once that's done, we'll be able to get things done way faster. Like things are going kind of slow right now, but once the code is rewritten, it means that basically anyone on the team can add to the code, which means that like designers can just go and implement their own can implement abilities and stuff without having to wait for a programmer or anything. And hopefully by the time that's done, the Libra model will be more of a ready state. So we might not even need Lenny because we could just implement her as a test forger. Ideally.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
the
even like
the stream's
shitty
alright for me,
animations,
you know.
because she's just going to end up being. Nibra's going to end up having her own animations, and we're not going to make animations for her that don't make any sense. So for new characters, if we need quick animations for new abilities that haven't been done before, Lenny is probably our go-to. So he's going to end up being quite the workhorse. So on screen just now, I've got a picture of one of the initial models that was done for the minions, uh, off of one of the original minion concepts actually. So this shows like, I don't know why, but I took pictures like shit tons during this process. So there's a lot of iteration here that sort of shows the flow of how we work. And this was with basically with comments from other people on the team through Slack. And this was where I think this one was pretty much the final version. I think, yeah, this was just before I'd rigged it obviously because I was moving it around, but I hadn't animated it at this point. And that's some fur textures which look amazing. I think that was the final. Yeah, pretty much the only thing that changed was the stinger ended up being changed to more of a cannon sort of shape because this was meant to be a range minion, and they're probably going to end up in our alpha until we've got a new minion concept. So if we ever stream again, which we probably will, but if we ever stream with Unity on screen, it'll probably be these little guys you see as our minions, at least placeholder minions. I also have a couple of other random animations, since we're all about the animations today. 10 points for anyone that can guess what this is. Meant to be when I think this was the first animation I ever did.
Ooh, me.
Ooh. So yeah.
Oh, I remember this. This
Yep.
is like a throwback Friday.
This was this was pretty much the first thing I did on the team. Like I can't remember, like 9 months ago.
It's beautiful.
It was beautiful. I was quite pleased with that.
Mr. Sloopy Whoopy arms.
Yep. We have
Oh,
a couple.
Do you want to show off some of the hair stuff you're doing? Because I thought that's really interesting.
Yeah. Trying to find. We had pictures. Yeah. So, if anyone's seen, I can't remember what the game is called, but they do hair in a very similar way, and they did a very, very thorough explanation, which I'm probably not going to go into as much detail as them, and I'll try and post it if anyone's interested. But pretty much what happens is that is one of the final results that you get, where the hair looks like it's there's sort of strands of hair there, but it's actually a trick in the rendering stage. So where we have that's not the right one. Oh, this is Sting moving our low minion concept. I'll leave that up whilst I'm trying to navigate through all my folders to find Nebra.
You're gonna be talking about the alpha cards or like how you do the hair.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Hair done. I think this was one of them. Right. So pretty much these end up being strands of hair. Well, obviously, because computers just now can't handle if you animate every single individual piece of hair, because we're planning to have hair dynamically move depending on how you're moving, obviously, just like a physics collision. So for example, Nebra's ponytail would probably move around with her a little as she's running around and flap about a bit. There's a really neat tool that we're going to be using in Unity for doing dynamic bones, which is exactly what we needed. But these are pretty much all, they come from these strands. Each individual piece of this has been taken in by myself and then shaped to how we want it, how the hair ends up looking, how it ends up flowing. and then it's all. I can't remember if there's a material in this. No, not in this one. Nope. So once that's done, we can apply a texture to it with an. Basically, it has an alpha channel on it where it just has the hair and the rest of it's transparent. So when that's applied in Unity and in Blender, it actually ends up. I'm gonna close that because I think it's lagging out my computer. So it ends up looking something like this, where you've got the brown hair, it comes down on the texture, and then your alpha channel, where it's just invisible, you can see through it. So Nebra goes through a fair amount of changes, and actually it ends up being her hair ends up getting decimated, where I basically take the mesh that I'd made and retopologized it to a point where it was game worthy, pretty much. I think it ended up being 1,500 tries, which for those that don't know, a character in our game is probably going to end up about 15,000 tries. And that's some of Nebra's swords. I don't know if that's pretty much pipeline. Pipeline wise, that's all modeling done. If there's any questions, we could probably answer them now.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to? Well, do you want to just pull up whatever Blender, whatever you're using, and just work on stuff, and then we can just kind of talk about things in the background. I mean, I'm not expecting there to be a huge amount of questions, but maybe people will come by later, or we can just answer whatever, talk about different things. We have Wim and Alted and the artists in the chat too. So basically, if anyone has questions about any particular
Or program.
aspect of the game, we could answer them because we've got people. Yeah, we got everyone here except for any programmers, but
Programmers are online though. Null data is actually available now.
maybe you could pop in if anyone has a question for him.
I think my favorite animation for the Rhyhorn is when he pops up.
What? The charging one?
No, when he stands up, he's like. "Arr."
That wasn't even
Yeah,
an
yeah,
animation.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
just
The
me
one where
dragging it.
like,
Just like dragging the.
oh, is that his little shuffle animation?
Yeah. I've got a couple of shuffles and.
Shuffle shuffles.
I think pretty much that's. I guess what we can do, since I'm not sure there's an incredible amount of people in chat, is show something new off. If Guernsey wants to talk about her, so.
Oh, still, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to end it if no one else is watching and asking questions.
Well, I mean, you could just do a little animation. You don't have to talk. I mean, this is a creative stream after all, so you could
Yeah,
if you if you're up for it, you could just make something and maybe talk about what you're doing.
We'll let Sil hype happen first.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is Sil. I think she was the first forger that we ended up announcing, was she?
Yes, I believe so. Well, she's the first one that was ever talked about.
Yeah.
So.
And some of the early lore posts were about her.
Grizzly,
Yeah.
what were the scratch marks for?
Scratch marks.
That was cat.
To be honest, I just wanted like
It's just like
I don't
no,
know,
it's
like if
cool. It's a cool little touch.
yeah, I guess I was thinking like I don't know, she has beef with one other forger sometime in the future or something like that. So I just kind of do that in there.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. I think it should be like a cat or something.
Yeah, right.
She's actually a really big cat lover.
Yeah.
Oh man, don't say it like that. That's not...
So, yeah, she's currently having a pivotal role in lore as well, with lore releases, which are coming soon. TM, whenever that is.
yeah.
So I'm just gonna buckle down and do some animations, and I'm hopefully hooded beef gets sorted, because apparently that's still an issue for him loading the stream.
No. It is Rule 63 because Rule 63. I'm an expert on this stuff. Rule 63 is when it's a gender swap. So yeah, it's actually it still is kind of like a Rule 63 Zalgus.
Oh yeah, we should put 18 plus viewers on the stream. Whoops,
Yeah. Not safe for, not safe.
not safe for eyeballs.
But then I should just leave, I guess.
Eh.
Oh yeah, and Marco can't come on either because he's not. He's only 17, right?
Oh shoot, I didn't know that. That's
Yeah, I
cool.
think so. I could be wrong about that. I think he's.
I
Yeah,
want
we'll
to
have to
check.
ban a lot of people from the stream. Well, there's nothing on Discord, but yeah, I gotta clear out of the stream. What is this? What was that Lenny face?
That's a texture I had open for Lanny. Right. If you guys want to talk or whatever, or I can talk about what I'm doing if people are interested.
Yeah, I think it would be cool if you like why don't you just do an animation and then just like make a new animation for Rhyhorn and just talk about what you're doing.
Okay. We have. I can close this. What do people want to see? Because I think there's actually 3 people in chat that are actually talking. So
Him eating grass.
No, like does he have like an attack animation or anything? Like
yeah, either choices are pretty much charge, uh, finish the walk cycle, eat some grass slash idle, um, or pretend or get pissed off and start like mowing his foot like Rhino does before it charges.
yeah, that would be a cool one. Do that one. That sounds cool. Like have him be like pawing the ground or something, or like when you had him rearing up, like maybe make an actual animation out of that.
Yeah, I could do a roar. I wanted to see like one person talk.
Yeah, just do it. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna do a roar. Fuck it.
Make him roll over. I don't know if anyone plays Guild Wars 2, but in the new expansion, there's these weird enemies that their like main attack is that they go flip flop. They like roll on their side at you. It's the silliest thing ever. They're just like "Bleh, bleh, bleh, bleh."
If it's still like if people's stream is still buffering, I guess the only thing I can do is increase the amount I'm uploading. But I'm already uploading like 6 meg, which is apparently enough for this. Because I'm only streaming at 720p.
Um, yeah, it's weird. It won't let you change the video quality. Maybe
Yeah, you need like a
maybe if
thousand
you
people.
lowered
It's
the quality, it would be better because it's making you stream it at source, which maybe is Maybe that's the
Yeah.
issue.
Oh, right. If people can't, yeah, if people can't do that, I could
So
maybe
maybe just
lower it.
try streaming it at like 7, or I don't know. What are you streaming at now? You could, because don't you have like a 4K monitor or something?
Yeah, but I'm only streaming at 720p.
Well, you could try 480p
It'll look like shit.
if it works. Personally, it's running fine for me, but
Gonna apply them. Right. So I'm gonna answer this question before I restart the stream. But pretty much the pictures that I showed on screen aren't really going to be posted anywhere, I don't think. But I could probably take them up again if you specify what you
well,
wanted to
no,
see.
this stream will be posted to
Yeah,
on YouTube and as a VOD as well. So
yeah.
if you just check the subreddit at some point, I'll put a link to where you can watch the whole stream if you missed out on any of it.